These are the plaintiffs, Hillary and Howard Yeagerman. They say the defendant came to winterize their pool. Their pump failed to shut off and it flooded their back lawn. And the water got into the computer room of their house. The defendant was totally negligent. They've been good customers for 15 years and can't believe he's not standing up and doing the right thing as any good businessman would. They're suing for $2,338 to cover their damages. This is the defendant, Dennis Demore. He says no way the pump ran all night, because if it had, it would have emptied the plaintiff's pool and her neighbors. Besides, the plaintiffs admitted they ran over the hose in the driveway, and perhaps that had something to do with it, or the huge rainstorm, which dumped an unprecedented 3 inches of rainwater onto the ground. All he knows is the flood was not his fault. He's accused of having water everywhere. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $812.21, the balance owed on winterizing their pool.
All right, Hillary and Howard Yeagerman.
That's right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correctly? You're suing Special D Pools Incorporated, represented here by Dennis Demore. You're the owner?
Yes.
All right. For $2,338 in damages to your home that you say were caused by his negligent winterizing of your pool.
Correct.
Now, as I understand it, you have been using this company for how many years?
16.
16. Wow, that's longer than a lot of marriages. And maybe even better than a lot of marriages. All right, in any event, so you hired them to come and winterize your pool this last winter on what date?
On October 1st.
Okay. And what happened?
And they always, well, for October 2nd, it was a Saturday, so they always have to come the day before in order to lower the level of the pool to prepare it for the next day. I came home late that, well, it was early evening, and I noticed the tubing in the front, in the driveway on the side, not where it usually is when they've done this, because I've done this for years.
Where usually, let me see if I can understand with the sketch. Can I have you come up here?
Yes.
This is the road in front of your house. This is the driveway to your house?
That's right.
And this is your house?
That's right.
This is the computer room in question that ends up getting flooded, which we're going to talk about because you feel that's their fault, right?
Right.
Your pool's back here. This blue line represents what? The hose that was draining the pool.
Correct.
You say this is where they put it, and this is on the driveway, and normally all these other years, where have they put it?
Well, it either would go on the driveway all the way to the, beyond the curb, so it would drain into the street.
But where would it drain? The water would drain just right into the street or into a drainage in the street?
Into the drainage in the street. It just
Okay.
run down the street.
Would you actually stick the hose in the drain?
No.
So you would just, the street's pitch would just take care of it and put it in the drain? Okay. What happens this time that you think creates the problem?
Well, this time, I park on this side of the driveway. We have 3 cars. My husband traditionally parks over here. There was a car in the middle. So I went about my business. I actually went to sleep before my husband came home. He came home late. He had an engagement that evening. And he parks his car wherever he parks. It was dark. I didn't speak to him that evening.
Maybe you two should talk more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I guess your point is that he doesn't know there's a hose there?
He didn't know there's a hose there.
Did he know that you were draining the pool that day?
I don't know.
Because for 16 years there's been a hose on the driveway, right?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be in the way.
Where would it be that it wouldn't be in the way? Where was it usually that it wasn't in the way?
It could be on the side. I have pebbles here, I have grass all here, I have a huge property
So during the course of the last 16 years, it has been in different places, including the driveway, but sometimes over here.
That's right.
All right, so what happens? Let me hear from your husband a moment. Go ahead, you can go back. Did you run over the hose? Is that why all this preparation for how it's dark and it's late and you're tired and whatever else?
Your Honor, frankly, I backed my car in, and I didn't see any hose. I mean, it was dark that night. It was late. I came home. It must have been about 10 o'clock, 10:15, thereabout, and I didn't see anything until the next morning.
Right, and your wife didn't tell you we're draining the pool? And there were no cones around the hose?
No cones around.
And do you have a sample of the hose so I can see what we're talking about? Are we talking about a flexible rubber kind of thing?
Right here. It's like vinyl.
Vinyl. So it's if one ran over it, what would happen?
Well, you'd crush it. I mean, if you step on it, you could stop the water from flowing.
Stop the water from coming through.
Which
so
means,
if the tire's on it, rather than just running over it wouldn't do anything to it.
No.
It's staying on it.
Exactly.
That would be the problem and crush the water. So then why would you leave such a thing on the driveway if it's draining?
Well,
What time did you come home?
I thought
More or
if I
less.
recall, around 10:15, thereabouts.
Okay.
well, it would have been done by then anyway.
Done by then, why?
Because we have a float switch on the pump. I think I gave you copies of the pump.
Okay.
A picture of it's got a float. So we set it so it'll drop the pool 18 inches,
And then stop.
and then it stops.
And you had started to drain the pool at what time?
I believe it was 4 o'clock.
And so 18 inches would take how long to drain?
Well, I would say less than 2 hours.
Okay. So it should have been done by 6.
Yeah. Sure.
Most certainly by 10:30.
No question.
Okay. Now, was there a lot of rain that day?
Yeah, there was 2¼ inches. I think you have a copy of it too.
Okay.
Or if not, I have it here.
Let me see what you've
National
got.
Weather Service. Right here.
The day that we're talking about of him coming in and it's 10:30 and all that
That's
we just
October
talked about
1st.
is October 1st or October 2nd?
October 1st.
Okay.
First.
And you have the records from the National Climate Data Center that talks about the rain on October 1st being record rain. That's
Right.
the day in question. So that day was a lot of rain. Now, with that, even with a lot of rain, is it possible the pool just kept filling up with rain, so by 10:30 it was still going?
I believe that could have happened, and I think, honestly, I think that's what did happen. I think that the hose was parked on the next morning because Mrs. Yeagerman told me she saw the hose running. I think the rain refilled it. The car's parked on the hose.
But if the pump has a timer and it turns off,
No, it doesn't have a timer. It's got a float. So when the water level comes up, the float kicks it back on until the water
so
drops
if the
and it
water
shuts
level
off.
goes up, then at 10:30 it's still going to be going.
Right.
Then what happens though? Someone parks on the hose and the pump is going.
It's going to burst somewhere.
Well, did this thing burst?
I don't know. I don't know.
How do you not know? It's yours. Didn't you guys pick it up?
Well, no, my mechanics did, and they're on unemployment now, or they're working on the job, so I couldn't get them to come. They
You couldn't
told me
get a
that
guy
they
who works for you to come?
No, because they have other jobs now. It's off season. But even if the water came to the front of the house, how did it flood the back room from our hose?
Well, let's talk about that. You find out that there's a problem when what?
So, in New York, would you get flood insurance if you owned a house? What do you think?
I think so. Depending on the area you live in, you never know when something might go wrong with sewage.
But is New York a place where you're really worried about floods?
Not so much. Maybe if it was Seattle, yeah, definitely, but not so much in New York.
What about California?
Honestly, I don't think so.
You wouldn't get flood insurance.
No, not unless you live close to the beach or anything like that, but...
Haven't you heard of tsunami? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're very common in like Detroit, you know. Tsunamis, there's a lot of them there. Going inside the courtroom.
Okay. When I saw that the guys were out there, I went to the computer room. I had to check my email.
Wait, this is what day?
Okay, this is
October
on
2nd.
Saturday morning,
Okay,
October
at what
2nd. Well, they came at about 10:30, I guess. So about that time, because I was waiting for them. I went down to check my email, and I still had on lounge, sweatpants and my flip-flops, and I happened
know
to
the look. Go ahead.
I happened to slip my feet out of them and put my feet on the carpeting, and my feet were wet. I was a lucky thing that I took them off. I wouldn't have really realized. I mean, if you squish, they're rubber flip-flops, so I didn't notice that. But my feet were soaking wet. So I looked down, I put my hand down, and of course the water, it was sopping. So I ran, rather than go through the sliding doors, because I didn't want to go through there, I went upstairs, out my front door, ran around to the backyard, and there I saw the tubing with a big hole in it with water gushing out into
Did you take a picture?
No, I should have.
So what happens? You step on the carpet, they come in with the wet vac, do they help to dry up the carpet?
It doesn't really work, and they really had to move on because they had other houses to do closings at. They really didn't want to deal with it.
All right, so now, you are suing for new carpeting and padding, the $1,200 for the water restoration company, and $393 to winterize the pool. Did you pay $393 to winterize the pool?
I didn't pay it yet. I was so aggravated from
So
the
if you
whole...
didn't pay it, why are you suing to get it back?
That's a good question.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm suing...
And that's a bad answer. Okay, I got it.
I'm
All
suing
right.
to not have to pay it.
To not have to pay it. Okay, I
That's
got it.
right.
I got it. All right. And let me see the bill for the carpet and padding, and let me hear from you. You have a counterclaim against her for $812.21. That's for a previous balance of $363. From when?
Throughout the summer.
That had not been paid?
Right.
And is that accurate or no?
The end of the summer. Sally always says, I know where you live, don't worry about
Okay,
it.
I got it. And then the amount to winterize the pool, which you feel you should be paid, and tax. That's your $812.21.
Right.
I take it you're not using them anymore to take care of the pool.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate because we had a really amicable relationship.
Was there any effort to have insurance, either one of your insurance cover this? Yeah, tell me about that.
I called them. I said to Sally, please convey to Dennis and Kevin that I would be, well, no, actually, I guess Dennis called me back, or Kevin first, and I said, I would think you have some insurance, being a pool company, to cover this. He says, my deductible's too high. I do not want to go through it. Why don't you go through your insurance company?
And then you try to, but your insurance company tells you this is a flooding situation and you don't have flood
Correct.
insurance. That's a separate insurance from your homeowners.
Correct.
Okay. First of all, I am a little bit annoyed that the actual witnesses to the case aren't here. You can't help it. Those guys are on their, winter jobs and whatever. I understand how this industry works, and that's the way it is. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of dispute about what we all think happened. The question is, whose fault is it that it happened? For one thing, I don't understand why they would put it on the driveway when they have a choice to put it elsewhere. How hard would it have been to put this on the yard instead? I guess you didn't because you didn't want to kill the grass.
Exactly.
Right. Well, then mark it. And I appreciate that, but then you got to do this differently in the future. How much do those red cones cost to buy? Mark it. Mark it, because it's very foreseeable that a car may run over it when they come back at 10:30 at night. It's foreseeable. Therefore, I find that the damage happened because of pool water, an excessive amount of pool water coming up and coming in. Now, as far as your counterclaim against her, you would not be able to, let me explain to you how court works. The purpose of court is to make, somebody says somebody else did me wrong and make me whole. Not make me better off since it happened, but make me like it never happened. All right. So your remedy when you come to court is to get your damages paid for, okay, but not to also get free winterizing, because you got winterizing, so you have to pay for the winterizing, okay? Now, the carpet and the padding that you ended up installing in the room, do you have any proof of how old the carpet and the padding were in that room?
No.
Okay, and how old was it?
Carpeting might have been 5 years old. I redid the room.
All right, so there's a depreciation
Okay.
on that, because you're getting brand new carpeting. All right, and this is where we do a little rough justice, okay? On your claim against the pool company, I am going to order the pool company to pay $300, which is a portion of the carpeting based on depreciation. The average lifespan of a carpet is about 7 years. I mean, depending on the kind of carpet you buy, but if it's the same as this kind of carpet that you did buy, a portion of it is going to end up being depreciated. The $1,200, which is the full cost of remediating the water problem, and that would be $1,500. But from that $1,500, I have to take out the previous balance, which you acknowledge that you owe, plus the cost of the winterizing of the pool, which leaves then a balance due to the plaintiffs in the amount of $756. That is my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the job sounds like it was a comedy of errors, and it cost you a very good customer, and also the decision in this case. How you feeling coming out here?
Well, I'm glad that she got something. Everything seemed to work out, and it was a comedy of errors.
Yeah. How could you let that happen?
Well, I can't be on every job, and I really don't think they intentionally didn't do anything wrong. It was unintentional.
Well, that's what errors are.
Right. Exactly.
So what about the loss of a good customer? I mean, don't you?
Well, what am I going to do?
All right, head right down there. It's too bad. All right, he just moved on. He's moving on without you, and I guess you're moving on without him also.
That's for sure.
So you satisfied with what you got out of this?
Very much.
You did a fantastic job saying nothing. You're the smartest guy in the courtroom.
Let me tell you, after 40 years of marriage, I know when to keep my mouth shut.
Okay. And so the new man...
And he happens to be a lawyer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, he's great at being quiet, and so sometimes that's the way you win.
That's right.
Because the more you open your mouth sometimes... Well, Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, you know, businessmen have a duty to prevent foreseeable damage, and in this case, by putting cones out in the driveway, it could have prevented the whole mess. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.